among the human race in this transition. When we live in love and harmony and show respect with unity, only love can set us free to fight injustice wherever it be. Just said the hungry must be fed, but man can't live by only bread. We have the future in our hands. Let's take the trot to the promised land. Jamaica, Ethiopia, America, calling, Nyankopong, calling, Nyankopong, calling, Nyankopong, calling, from the middle of the graveyard to the center of the sea. Our ancestors, are you and me, we are the great ones. From the beginning of time, we have the heart, the soul, the body, and the mind. Calling, Nyankopong, calling, Nyankopong, calling, Nyankopong, calling. United we stand, divided we fall.
No. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Are you hearing me? Loud and clear. I hope that we are coming through distinctly clear and nice. Everybody's inside the classroom for now. If you hear me, you can turn on your mic and say something.
Islam.
Grand rising.
Check, mic check.
Grand rising. Okay, we have, of course, our teacher for tonight, the man himself, Brother Page, Grand Sheik, and we have Brother Nigel, Brother James on board, and we have also Brother Kareem. Danny, big up yourself from across the pond. Tonight, it is packed. I'm supposed to have another meeting coming on, but the Sheik is here, and tonight he's going to explain a bit about what we were talking about last night. It's important that we get the grasp as to what we're doing. And Kareem, I have a tape that I need to send to you about the question that you asked today. Grand rising, Brother Taylor. We're going to get to that. But of course, I'll let you get familiar with the Grand Sheik again. He's not a stranger. He's been here before. He's going to be here again. Well, I'm breaking up. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
All right, then. So without any further ado, I'll introduce Grand Sheik El Page tonight to take over our teachings. So, Grand Rising, my brother, how are you? Peace and blessings.
I am well, I'm risen, giving all praise to Allah. I give highest honors to our prophet, Noble Drew Ali, last prophet in these days and times, and we give high honors to, and peace be upon him, and we give high honors to the forerunner, Prophet Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and all the divinely led prophets, peace be upon them all. Our ancestors, our foremothers and forefathers, honors to all that are here on this call, honors to all the honorable and righteous who are working to uplift fallen humanity and unify with your brothers all over Asia, to unite Asia, so that we can be one family, operating under one trust again. So honors to you all, honors to your children, to your families, honors to what your efforts are in this movement, Islam. I'm Grand Sheik Page Bay of the Unity Moorish Science Temple of America number 27. We are a branch of a bigger body of Moors, stemming from what we call Mecca, or what you would call Chicago. Pretty much the heart of Islam in America, Islamic thought. It's the heart of a lot of the grassroots movements of consciousness in America. So, we operate from our holy prophet, illustrious Noble Drew Ali, to bring his message that he brought to us, to bring to our brothers and sisters, so that we can come out of these dismal crypts of the mind, and we can relinquish the chains of mental slavery, which are been put on us with European thought processes that aren't conducive for the way that we have, our bloodline set up and organized Islam. So, from our great forefathers, Abraham, down to us, we've been given the charge to carry this thing on, me, you, and the chosen few. So that's what I do. I work with the community. I work as a Grand Sheikh, as a minister, also a private consultant, in my personal time, and through, the efforts of the temple, because it's all really about the private side. That's what everybody and most people are trying to understand in our approach dealing with this commercial situation that we're wrapped up in, this maritime law, this corporate oversight of Rome, kind of clawing into your back. And we're always trying to figure out, why won't Pharaoh let the people go, so to say. And so I'm going to delve into a little bit on trust, because that's always a hot topic. People, for some reason, and I know the reasons, but for some reason, yours might be different, but people have come to an understanding within conscious movements, growth movements, liberation movements of our people, and they've started to hear about trust. That's probably one of the first things you start hearing about. You got to get a trust, and there's always somebody with the magic wand telling you to get trust and all this kind of thing. But we're going to slow it down, going to break it down a little bit, and just make it real simple to understand where everybody's coming from. A trust, first, we always have to go spiritual. First, we are spirit in the body of the flesh, in the plane of the manifest. And if you want to execute anything, trust, law, how is one to execute the law when he doesn't understand the laws of his Father God? So if you want to execute the laws on the plane of the material, you must be doing your best to try to execute those laws on the plane of mental and spiritual. Same thing with trust. Trusts are ideas stemming from brotherhood. The simplest way I can explain a trust is, if I give you $10 and I say, hold this for me until I get back, and you don't go spend it, and I come back and you give it back to me, and I give you $3 of the dollars for holding it for me, that's trust. We have created a type of trust. It's that simple. Far as taxes and paperwork, get that out of your head in the beginning. It is a contract between persons and people saying, hey, I'll watch over something for you or for us. That's a trust. Okay. My brother, if you would, pull up that slide that says trust basics. And we'll just read a little bit. And we'll try to understand a couple basic concepts. So I hope you have
that is Is that the first image?
It just says trust basics, something like
I got
that.
it. I got it. It's up.
Okay.
Are you seeing it?
Yes. It went away now.
All right, hold on. Let me get it back. Are you seeing it now?
Not this image. This is another one. You have
Okay.
the trading utility.
Okay. I'm trying to get me sorted out. Okay. Alrighty. I'm looking.
Yeah, you had it that first time.
Yeah, I saw what I'm doing, but it's not allowing me to come through with the one that I want. I had it a while ago. Let me close,
Okay.
and then I'll just open it back.
Okay, while you do that,
Yeah.
does anybody have a trust? Anybody here have a trust set up? Does anybody?
Yeah, we're in the
Go ahead.
we're in the process of all of that. Some of us have already,
Okay.
but not all.
Okay. All right. Did you get EINs for the trust?
Yes, we're on that process. We completed that.
Okay. So we're all in understanding the components of a trust, and I'm gonna break something down to you that I just want you to think with me. I was with you. There's a couple ways you can do it. Now we know the trust has three parts, mainly three characters in it, right? You should all understand if you have one, or for one, you can have many trusts as you want. Let's put that out there. You can have 1 million trusts if you want to. It doesn't matter. So I know some people ask me, can you have more than one trust? That's like, can you have more than $1? Can you have more than one business? You can open as many businesses as you want, you know. A trust is the basic and most simple form of a kind of a corporate entity. The difference is the trust is not incorporated. See, there's a difference, okay? A corporation is a simile to the body, okay? That's why they call it an organization. Everything in the plane of manifest reflects the body. An organization, because the body has organs. The body's organized to be able to run, right? So think of a corporation as a corpse. Same kind of root word. When the life is taken out of you, it's a corpse. So a corporation needs life. It's a corpse. It needs the spirit and the holy breath of man to guide its affairs. It's just papers who's acting as a vessel so that you can operate in the maritime law. Brother, leave this one up. It's fine.
Okay.
Just leave this one up. Because I get the feeling that since some of you brothers have already started trusts, you get some of the gist. All right. But that corpse, it needs spirit. You represent the spirit that's behind it. It has three major players, right? The first one is the grantor or the settler, the one who initiates the trust, the one who starts it, the one who puts the things into it. Next, it has who? The trustee. The one who accepts things into it and distributes things from it on its behalf. The trustee is an agent for the organization. The trustee is an agent for the corporation. It needs somebody to act outside of itself. All right. And then, last but not least, you have the beneficiary. Who's going to get the benefit? Who's this trust set up to make sure they have something? Your children, your wife, you know, your temple or your church or your, you know. And you can be two of these things with no problem. It's advised that you only take two. If you're going to be the grantor, you either want to be the one who's granting and being the beneficiary, so that you can put things into it, give it to an honorable trustee. They can go and take care of business affairs to help enrich the trust, and then you get the benefit. Or you can be the trustee and the beneficiary. So if you did something like this, you could have your wife, and I see there's a lady on the line. You can have your husband start the trust in your name and make you her trustee and her beneficiary, and the children her beneficiary. And then the husband, he does the same for her, right? He becomes the grantor of her trust and makes himself the trustee and the beneficiary. Right? This is ways that you can work together with your family unit and protect your asset. You become the trustee of your wife's trust, your wife becomes the trustee of your trust. And if you have a family trust, you can make an outside entity the trustee, somebody you trust, you know, somebody in your nation, somebody whose financial acumen is high, somebody who's already a trustee. Many different ways you can do it in your setup. Just remember, you want to try to only be two of the position, typically, for what we call living trust, or what we also would call express trust. Okay, express trust is just one that's written. That means it's put on paper. That's an express trust because it's been expressed, not because it's fast, but because it's been expressed. You expressed it with words. Okay, and then the other type of trust is a verbal trust, where you and somebody said, hey, we're going to go and we're going to go mow these lawns together. You do the front, I do the back, and we split the money. You two just created a trust by law. You see how simple this stuff is? It's not, remember those foundation. Okay. Now, what the trust is, in the way that we're trying to utilize it, or the way you're utilizing it, is as a transmitting utility. Now, I want to ask a question. For somebody who has a trust, don't be shy. I just want to know, for those of you who said yes, if somebody would tell me what you are using your trust for. What is your purpose of having the trust that you created?
To put my assets, all my assets that I attain physically, financially, in a secure trust. That's what I have my trust for.
Okay. Okay. To secure your things. All right. So
Likewise, and to start a business.
you started the trust to start a business?
To secure assets and start a business.
To secure assets and start a business. Islam. The securitization of the assets is exactly the purpose. Yes. You want to secure your assets in the trust. What a trust does is it essentially makes an agreement privately, which deals with private. When they say private, there's two different things, but they're really just one that we're dealing with. When one say private, it doesn't mean that no one knows that, in that sense. Because as soon as you write the document or you put your trust certificate and you go down to the county recorder and you record it, it's not private in the sense that nobody knows. But they call it private because it's not commercial, meaning it hasn't went into maritime law. It hasn't been incorporated. Can you do commerce with it? Obviously, yes. But it has not been commercialized under the interest of any other outside factor, any state of or anything. And that's why people like the trust, because it keeps the state of, it keeps the governments off of your assets, and it allows you to create a corpse, right? To own the assets. Therefore, it takes the liability off of your shoulder. So when you're putting things into trust, you're allowing something that is not real to own and control, essentially, or own the things that you have. And then you just put them in it, and then you benefit off of it. That's the main idea. So if something goes wrong with the thing or a liability comes up, you're not personally responsible. If anybody knows, I want to say it was the Rockefeller. It was either Rockefeller. I think it was Rockefeller. But he had said a famous quote, because remember, they had created antitrust laws back in the day because these big robber barons like Rothschild, Rockefeller were using trust law to get super rich because they were perfecting trust law in banking. And they had said the trust is so successful because it allows you to own nothing. You don't want to own anything. Not even, the socks on your feet, per se. You don't want to own anything. You want to control everything without owning it, because when you own it, a liability is created for you in case something happens. So that's why people put their assets into trust. Now, here's some of the keys. If you are operating the trust in a religious fashion, that is best. If you're going to utilize an EIN, here's where they've been getting us. And some of you are going to go, but it's just real. And I got to let you know that when we create the trust and then we get an EIN, and then we go activate that EIN, at a bank, you have now just given the IRS, which is the main agent of the Department of the Treasury, interest in your trust, right? Think about it. If you get an EIN from the IRS and then you use that number to control the finances or the ability of banking and financing within the corporate system, now they have an interest in that trust because you're using their number, right? So then that comes with reporting documents such as the 1041. Okay, the 1041 is the trust document that you use to tax report. You do not have to get an EIN for your trust. Remember, the EIN is for banking. That's if you want to go get a bank account. Most people aren't at the capacity of transaction or in the incorporated capacity to actually need to go get a bank account for their trust per se. So when you start your trust and you get a certificate of trust, okay? A certificate of trust. That's what you need, okay? The certificate of trust is created to go put on the county record. You do not have to utilize your trust indenture. What is the trust indenture? The trust indenture is the body of the trust. It's the trust corpus. It's the defining of the rules and regulations and the whole thing, you know, who's in it, what's going on with it, the laws of it. You don't have to put that on the record. You put just a trust certificate on the record to show that the trust exists. Okay? And then you can execute privately with other individuals. You can do business with your trust at that point. Whatever the name of it is, you can go do business. Contract. Your trustees can go get money and procure things on his behalf. Okay. Like I said, I do private consulting. If you want to go deeper, if you want, you know, some guidance in your trust, or you want to set one up, or you want more insight into, you know, putting it together in a certain type of way, and these kind of things, my website's right there. You can email me, hit us up, MoorisAmericans.org. Get in contact with me, set up a meeting, or, you know, we'll, you know, get you handled. The secretary will, you know, set up a meeting with us or something like that, and then we can go into that measure. Okay. Now, our brother said to secure the assets is the purpose of the trust. Yes. But beyond that, and why the trust is actually necessary, is because of the commercial arena that we're living in, the public arena. The public is commercial. The public is corporate. So when you go out, as soon as you step out of your house, everything you're dealing with is commerce until you get to your temple, to your meeting place with your tribe, to your church or mosque. But anything between your house And the temple, it's all commercial. It's all up for grabs. It's all the seed as they see it. So what the trust is, in its truest sense, besides for how it secures your assets, is it conveys things from the public into the private. And it gives the private a voice to speak to the public. Okay? It is what you're calling, as we see on the screen, a transmitting utility. If you have a social security card of some sort, that is a trust. Not a trust that you go and just, people ask me, well, can I go cash it in? No. If everybody knew, if 5 people knew how to cash in their social security trust or something like that, that would have taken over everything. It would have, it would have taken over like wildfire, because he would probably just simply go around telling people, hey, give me 10% of your trust and I'll show you how to unlock it. And everybody, before you know, will be all running around with, $30 million badillion or whatever they think they have in it, That's not how that works. And I have a class that I teach on how it actually works. I'm not going to go into, because when I teach this class, it takes like 4 hours, and that's if I'm going fast. Because there's so much information, but yet at the same time, it's very simple. But there's so many documents and historical significances that I have to show you so that you can understand, okay. But to try to put it in the best nutshell that I can, I'm going to say it like this. You are spirit living in a body. You are living in the flesh. And that flesh is private. Okay? The flesh is private. It has nothing to do with commercial or commerce. That's why slavery is illegal, in the sense that it's always been unlawful. Even when they made it legal, it's always been unlawful in the eyes of the Most High, right? But it's unlawful because you're taking private property. You're taking God's private property, and you're selling it. All right? So you're always private, because in common law, you can change your name. You can wake up at any time you want. You can wake up today and decide your name is Richard, and you can start telling people, my name is now Richard. You can't do that on your legal documents. That's what people understand. They think, oh, well, I want to be Richard now. Well, if you're going to go do commerce, that's the public. You have to make notice in the public that your name is Richard. All right. So they know that they know that there's always 2 things happening at all times. Private world of affairs, people retaining their equity, what they call it, equity, your rights. Equity just means right. So retaining your equity, your rights. And then you have public, which is the documentation, the birth certificates, the driver's license, the social security card. That's all public, because it is something that documents your commercial interest in the world. It allows you to do business with the nations of people on one playing field, right? So you look to your left, you look to your right, 9 times out of 10, everybody around you has a birth certificate, a social security card. So, irrespective of their religion, of their nationality, everybody has these basic documents to operate in commerce. These are your transmitting utilities. These allow you to come from your private side, to come from your side where you worship the one God alone, and go into the world through a trust, your commercial entities, and do business. Whatever that name is on that social security card, whatever that name is on that license, that's your transmitting utility. That is what is representing a real man or woman out in the world. The problem we've been having is we've been trying to find a way to not use the transmitting utility and use the private flesh. Well, this doesn't work. The reason a lot of people have problems executing documentation or certain things is because computers talk to computers. What do I mean by that? You're on a computer now, my computer's talking to your computer, and it's streaming us and making it appear as if, you know, I'm talking to you or whatever. And we're utilizing these computers and these screens as transmitting utility. I'm not really talking to you in the flesh. I'm talking to you through a transmitting utility. Okay? So, if these computers didn't do what they do to transmit the signal from here to yours, we wouldn't be able to have this conversation. Therefore, these fake things, these fake entities, these computers, this technology has to talk to one another so that we can understand each other. Think of the corporations like that. The bank, the court, the government that you deal with. They're all corporation. And they can't talk to you. They have agents who act on their behalf. All right? Remember? See, now it's coming back full circle. We're talking about the agents who act for the corporation. Well, when you talk to that judge, are you talking to a real man or woman of the flesh? Yes. But they're doing business as, at that moment, they're doing business as an agent of the court. So when they're on court payroll and they're on court time, talking to them is the same thing as talking to the court. They can't just do certain things because you think you're talking to a real woman or man. They know the truth. Now, when you get off and you guys sitting at the park talking, yes, that's private. Okay? So you need corporations to talk to corporations. So this is why we have these transmitting utilities, license, social, or a trust, which is a corporation, to talk to the corporations out here in commerce, in the maritime law. Make sense? So
Yep.
Okay. So the big problem is whether we're religious, whether we're indigenous, whether we're coming from, you know, genderism. You have the right to stand up for your rights, but the way that everything's set up is that you do it through a corporation. So, as an example, the Moorish Science Temple of America is a trust, is a corporation, a religious corporation that we have become trustees of, agents of, to then go represent and speak for our private interest in the public. Because the Moorish Science Temple of America is a transmitting utility for the Moorish nation. As NYAN-KO-PONG would be the transmitting utility for the Maroons. Your social security card or account powered by your birth certificate is the transmitting utility for your person, for yourself. Okay, so a transmitting utility is defined as a transmitting utility agent utilized for the purpose of transmitting commercial activity for the benefit of the grantor or the one who's called the secured party, because they're secured. You're secured because you hold the cards. You hold the titles. That's why you're secured, right? You hold the birth certificate bond. You hold the social security card. So if you hold the social security card, then you are the secured party. An exclusive agent with universal agency, a public agent serving, right? Your transmitting utility is a public agent serving as a conduit for the transmission of goods and services in commercial activity. A thing to interact, contract, and exchange goods, services, obligations, and liabilities in commerce with other debtors, grantees, corporations, and artificial persons. All right. That's what we've been doing, right? Mm-hmm. The debtor / grantee or your transmitting utility is the debtor. See, that all caps name on your social security card or your birth certificate is the debtor. It owes the debt because it has all the asset. It has all the money. So the debtor / grantee is a legal entity according to the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC 9-105-1N. Transmitting utility means any person. Now, a person can mean a corporation. A person is a corporation. Okay, go read the case law. Let me see here, just to give you some reference. A person, I don't know if you guys know about this, but this is a Black's Law Dictionary. Okay. Legal definitions of words. Legal definition is going to be different than what's in your Webster's dictionary for the common definition, right? A person, according to law, means artificial beings as corporations. So it can be a man considered according to the rank he holds in society, with all the right to which the place he holds entitles him, and the duties which it imposes. The word in its natural and usual signification includes men and women. That's what we think we're saying. Men and women when we say person. But the law, according to People versus Commoners of Texas, 23rd New York 242, and some other case laws state that a person can include an artificial corporation or artificial being. So in the law, Walmart is a person. Nike is a person. Okay, Kentucky Fried Chicken is a person.
Yep, corporation.
Okay, and they have rights.
Oh yeah, you can take
This is
advantage.
why they can even have religious rights. If anybody knows Chick-fil-A, if you eat there, or if you don't and you just know them, remember on Sunday they close. They're a Christian corporation. And they don't have to hire anybody who is LGBTQ, and they can't get sued because they come as a Christian corporation. They say, no, we don't hire anybody like that because they have that right through religion. And they say, no, we don't open on Sunday. We close every Sunday because we have that right through religion. And so they have religious rights and protections because they're a person. Okay. So any person primarily engaged in the transition of goods by pipeline. So a transmitting utility is a person who is engaged in transmission of goods by pipeline, which we don't necessarily do, but I guess technically we could, right? Through our straw man, through our transmitting utility. Goods. Now here's where they let you know what's up. And this is why we say, oh, well, is this a form of human trafficking? Goods also includes the unborn young of animals, humans, and growing crops. Now look at that.
Well, we have to understand in 1933, every living thing became a commodity, a product. Because
now, this is how, tying into what my brother said, this is how that's happening, but it's also not happening. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of us say, they're doing human trafficking. Like when we talk about the government.
Yeah.
But they're actually not. I'm going to tell you why. Before you throw your tomatoes.
Go ahead. I just want to point out we have one next guest coming up because we overbooked our schedule, and
okay.
This other guest was supposed to be for another time, was for last night, but she was doing some things, but I didn't want to infringe on your time. I wanted you to be here tonight, so we can wrap up in 10 so she can get to come on and do, because you're gonna be back, and I'm gonna put up your necessary context because our brothers and sisters are very much interested in what you're teaching.
Islam. Okay. So the reason why they're not is because the public has been assuming that the governments are human trafficking based on the, how can I say it? Based on the inability for us to seemingly represent ourselves as natural people. And then at the same time, when we try, we still get treated with the disrespect, or like we don't have our rights, or hauled to jail, or whatever. No matter how much you say, hey, wait, I'm indigenous, I'm natural, I'm a man, I'm you know. The problem is because we haven't been attacking the situation properly, because they put all the laws out there for us to read and to understand what's going on. They've never trafficked a human being of flesh in that sense. The slavery that we've been facing has been what they call voluntary, because we have been misdirected, we have been misled, we have been run amok, we have been misunderstanding what's going on. But I'm going to sum it up like this. They know that you're a person, that you're a real man or a real woman. They know that you are indigenous. They know that you are natural to the land, all that. But when you try to tell them that, you are talking to a
dead entity,
a corporation. And as I explained, corporations only talk to other dead entities. Corporations talk to corporations. So it's not a problem of you identifying who you personally are as indigenous, as your religion. The problem has been us misidentifying or correcting the way that our public entity, called that straw man or that license or that all caps name, has been identifying. See, this is why they call, even though we're the majority in number, our people, obviously, we're the most populated people. You know, there's more melanated people in the world. There's more Asiatic, Moors, and all that than any other type of people on the earth. They know that, but we get called the minority, not because we're less in number, because we are more than 2/3 of the earth. We get called the minority because of competency. A minor is an infant of mind. A minor is someone who has improved competency to step up as an adult in the affairs of men, because they're dealing with everything from trust, suretyship, financial, banking perspectives. And so we're going, hey, I'm not that thing, I'm indigenous. But there's no corporation, or you're not defining the lines of you understanding that there's a corporate transmitting utility that you need to correct or do certain things for or with. Your so-called, what they call the straw man, which is really just your principal, is not in the proper capacity of status when it goes and tries to talk on your behalf. Things haven't been defined. I'll give you a couple examples. I got 5 minutes. Things haven't been defined. Remember, your mother and father created that entity. They created your birth certificate, right? They signed, applied for it or whatever. And they also apply for your Social Security account, your living trust, your Sesta Quia, your Fide Commissary. So they did that. Therefore, that means it's documents signed for, applied for by your parents. You never applied for any of it. You just hold the card now. You just hold the title of the birth certificate. And then you've been issuing it out to do commerce. You're really a beneficiary. You didn't sign any of these documents. So have you ever thought to have your parents sign it over to you through an affidavit? That's one way. Hey, sign this over to the real me and say that I own this now. Or have you thought about taking ownership of it through a trust? We take ownership of asset. Well, that birth certificate that you receive from your parent is your estate. And so nobody stepped up and claimed the estate. So the state of has been claiming the interest because you have been considered lost at sea, dead, ever since your 25th birthday, because of something called the Ursahtaw Act of 1666, issued by the Pope. Ursahtaw Act of 1666. Okay. How this works is that when you were 18, your estate became mature. Your estate became fully mature. This is 18 years to maturity. This is why you consider an adult at 18, but you can't, they can't have a drink until 21. Because it's a maturity of trust measure. Has really nothing to do with, your mental competency in the sense. It has matured. 18 is considered the number 9, right? 1 + 8, completion. And you are considered an adult. Now, since your birth certificate and your trust, your social security card, are just all a part of your estate, if the heir, you, don't step up and claim it, then it's considered lost at sea. Maritime. Okay? Now you have 7 years from the time you're 18 until 25. What age can you rent a car?
18.
25. And here in the States, it's 25. That's a strange number to say. You can rent a car now that you're 25. The same amount of time that you have to claim your trust before on your 25th birthday, they consider it you to be lost at sea, meaning you are considered dead until you come back from the sea and make a claim. Okay? So what kind of court deals with wills, trusts, and dead persons? Probate court. When somebody, when grandma, peace be upon her, and she passes, and she didn't have a trust or a will, or if she does have a will, she goes through probate court with the state, and somebody has to come as an heir or in line to claim her estate and try to close the estate out, pay the bills off, handle the affairs, close the accounts. So when you turned 18, you became an adult. Your parents relinquished it, but they were dead too. Remember, they never claimed theirs because they didn't know any better. So the state takes over the estate. They act on your behalf to handle those affairs. behind closed door, and we keep passing down the incompetence of how to act as heirs and beneficiaries, and that's why they call you minorities still.
Sheik, time has flied by so quickly, and that's why, I'm trying to get you from the other day, but I know that you are also quite busy, but I'm allocating where on a Thursday we can have this interaction, but sometimes you have some other obligations, and I appreciate the fact that we're trying to merge together and do big things, because I need all of us to feel comfortable in our skin when it comes on to the jurisdiction that we're living in, and some of the common things that we share as indigenous brothers and sisters. I wanted you to get some questions. I don't know if anyone have any, about 3 questions, because I do have another guest waiting in the wings, and she was, I did inform my brothers and sisters about her being here, but if anyone has any questions for you, I can allow them to ask it now, and I will put your contacts within the chat also. But I give the next 5 minutes for anyone who has any questions for the sheep.
Okay. Yes, thank you. I'll try to be short.
Any questions? Crystal, any questions for the sheik? No, he's going to come back. Crystal is just seeing you for the first time, so she's a bit new. And also James, Abina, any questions?
He had mentioned that he does consults. Do you do group rates? Whatever that consult fee is?
Yeah. Just you see my website here, and also our brother, the High Chief, he can get you the contact information, but you can go on that website. You can email me, or you can also get the information from our brother Ross here, and we can get something like that together. What size of a group would you be thinking?
No, I was thinking this group. As far as because I think we're trying to move as a group, in getting things accomplished. And so I was wondering if that's the case, because you had mentioned things like, the trust certificate, and you said to register that where?
County recorder.
County recorder. Okay, yeah. So so the inner details of that process, as far as putting together the trust and because you said that you need a number, so then, okay, I guess this is a question. Seeing that you had mentioned that doing the EIN, that would be placing our trust in the interest of IRS. And so you had mentioned that there's a number that we would use, and that would be the number that we would use in order to open up a trust account with the financial institution. Is that what you're indicating?
No, what I was saying is it just gives them interest. It doesn't mean necessarily that they can
they can't do anything to your trust, because it's you're just in the commercial capacity of how the corporation runs. Your straw man is also commercial, it's religious, it is educational. Any entity where there's a contract as a holder of your estate, you have to take control of it. So that's what the message was, that regardless how we're interacting as sovereign, we still have a straw man estate out there. And if we don't take ownership of that straw man, it will come back and hurt your estate, because it's a reflection from your birth people come into what we're doing now.
Yeah, so exactly. It doesn't give them, they can't come kick down the door and take your stuff per se. No. What I'm saying is that it gives them interest that way, that if you don't perform tax obligation, or if it's not set up in a tax-free way, then they, might be asking more questions, So there's just ways to set up. If you're going to have the EIN, like our temple is a private trust, a body politic, and we have incorporated it so we can do commercial business, but everything on the back end stays private, and everything in the commercial side is all protected by religion.
Yeah.
You see? So even though we have IRS EIN, we don't have a problem with the IRS because we're a temple, and temples are tax exempt.
And
automatically.
And once again, the notification to the corporation is our responsibility. As the sheik tell you a while ago, and we've emphasized on several occasions that if you have a house and you don't clean it, and the bushes grow, and the corporation is going to clean it for you and send you the bill and tax your estate, you have to take care of your estate. So what we're doing now as living man and woman is taking care of this estate that you got from birth, that you did not know or that you didn't want. It's very, very, very powerful. But Sheik, I want to thank you for coming by, and I will talk to you after we finish, because we're going to have dialogue soon, face to face, so we can actually put this in stone, and some of the assistance that the Moorish Empire has to offer our brother in this jurisdiction, we will definitely make it available for their use.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me here once again. It's always a great time to build with you all. I can feel the energy of growth. I can feel the energy of your minds when you're taking in this information. I can feel the sensations of the vibrations of heightened intelligence and the gaining of knowledge. Even though we're through these devices, we're here, with each other all the time. So honors to you all. I wish and pray that all goes well in your life, and reach out. Private consultation if you want to learn more about the Moorish paradigm, all these things. I'm here and available. See the website right there. So thanks.
Peace. Thank you so much. All right, brothers and sisters, why Brother Page exit? We're going to have our next guest come in. Before I do that, I will just play a small excerpt of what she does. She's inside the green room already. And of course, it's Midas Immigration. And I asked her over here because we do have concerns and we do need to know a lot of things as to how the corporation operates in every aspect. So give me a second and I'll bring her up.
One of the questions we get asked very often is, I've submitted my asylum application now. What's next? Once you have submitted your completed application to USCIS, you will receive a receipt notice from USCIS confirming that they have received your asylum application. This document is very important. You must keep it safe. Next step, you will be scheduled for fingerprinting and biometric checks. Don't be alarmed, it's a standard part of the process, but you must ensure you keep your appointment. Following this, you need to stay prepared for your interview with the asylum officer. This is the opportunity that you'll be given to tell your story and present any evidence that will support your case. It's always important to remember to be honest and thorough during the interview. While waiting for your interview and a decision to be made on your asylum application, remember it is important to maintain your current status. Get involved in community activities, seek resources, ensure you maintain a healthy emotional and physical well-being. The asylum journey can be a very lonely one. It can be very complex, but you are not alone. Midas Immigration Services is here to help you every step of the way. If you have any questions or if you need help with your asylum application, do not hesitate to contact Midas Immigration Services. We are here to help you navigate towards a better and brighter future for yourself and your family.
Too delicate.
Hold on. All right, thank you so much. I think at this time I have the pleasure of introducing Andre Morris. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Audrey, for making time. And I hope we do build a good relationship where your professional approach towards some of our concern can be addressed. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to our indigenous native Jamaican Nyankopong brothers and sisters, where we claim our maroon rights and we exist as living man and woman. As I don't know if you were listening to the Sheik before, but I hope we get to teach you also about who we are. But we invited you here tonight for you to share your profession and interact with us for a while. So without any further ado, I want to say welcome and thank you. The floor is yours.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Audrey Morrison, and I am an immigration consultant. The name of my business is Midas Immigration Services. Now, we do a variety of immigration services. I'm a consultant and I don't give legal advice. However, my firm do have an attorney aboard where she is responsible for giving any legal advice or doing any manner of representation in cases that we take. So here at Midas Immigration Services, I started out as an immigration consultant to do family petitions. However, I noticed that more and more people were coming to America from Jamaica via the borders illegally. And I also noticed that there was a gap when it came to information, the right information that was being circulated in the diaspora. I would have gone to Jamaica and I would have heard things about asylum that weren't true. I would have come back here and I talked to people who are asylees and they also had information that is not true. So we decided to take action by carving a niche in asylum by providing guidance and education to asylees coming in from the diaspora to the United States. To date, even though my initial plan was to reach Jamaicans, to date we have served over 13 countries across the world. We have a large following from Africa. We have a large clientele or customer base from Africa, from the African continent. And I'm pleased to actually, I don't know how that will fit into what we do here tonight or to the NYAN-KO-PONG community, but I'm also hoping that, you know, through what we do, we can probably connect through immigration.
Okay, very good introduction. Now, why one of the reasons why I invited you over because we believe in our indigenous rights to really carry us through. But I've been speaking to a lot of brothers and sisters who they have started the process, and some of them are in limbo because they've been told a lot of folklore. I wanted to touch on the family part of the immigration status where people are trying to whether get their mother or offspring into the country, but they've been told a lot of hogwash, for a better words. Could you like just indulge into some of the access ways that people can actually start their paperwork?
Okay, so
Like
when
for their mother, a mother filing for an offspring or a son filing for a mother.
Right. When it comes to family-based petitions, there are some basic things that are part of these applications. Firstly, family-based petitions, the aim of family-based petitions are for reunification, which means that families are going to come together in the United States. So if someone left their home country, come to the United States, the US immigration laws are set up in such a way that your family can join you here. So your family will be reunified in America. Now, one of the things they specify is when we say family, we are referring to immediate relatives. And who do they classify as immediate relatives? These are spouses, and by spouses, we mean married couples. So if a wife left her husband in their home country and is in America, yes, they are considered an immediate relative. Also, children. Children are also considered immediate relative. Um, Also, parents are considered immediate relatives. So when it comes to other categories, so you have to first understand what category of relative do you fall in. So there are several categories. There are about 5 categories that you can possibly fall in. For example, the F1 category. In the F1 category, it caters to spouses and children under the age of 21 of US citizens. Then you have the F2 category, who are spouses and children of green card holders. Then you have the F3 category, which are married children of United States citizen. And then you have the F4 category, which is a sibling category. And I often refer to that category as a category that nearly never made it. So that's the sibling category. And that one is and I refer to it like that because it is currently taking 17 years if a brother wants to file for a sister or a sister wants to file for a brother. However, in the F1 category, where US citizens are petitioned for their children, you are looking at maybe a span of around 2 to 3 years now due to the backlog. So it's immediate, and all they're waiting for is just for your paperwork to pass through the correct channels. There is no waiting time when it comes to spouses and children under 21 of US citizens. There's no processing time per se. They are immediately processed. However, when it comes to children under 21 and spouses of green card holders, then they have what is known as a priority date. So now they have to wait. So we are currently seeing a turnover time of around 4 years for this category. And then we have the F3 category where married children. So married children, it's as if US say, you know what, you already have your family, maybe, you can try another route, but we're going to try to work with you. So in that category, it takes around 12 to 14 years to be processed.
Is there any question from our brothers and sisters? Is there a question that you want to ask? Anyway, let me ask the question then, because I know I don't want to ask it. Now, within filing, right? And we've noticed that to how the application is set up, it sometimes goes against the grain when it comes on to, you don't want to put black or white, you don't want to put appellation as to Jamaican, but maroon Jamaican. Is there anything when we're filling out these forms that we have to stick to some of these wording that the immigration is specifying?
So when it comes to certain sections of the form, it is just for collecting information, demographic information. They use these for data purposes. So it's like, how many people do we have from this race? How many people do we have from this country? What how many, what's the data looking like for males leaving their country, a particular country, to come here? What's the data looking like for a certain race to come? So this is only for data purposes only, and some of these, I'm not sure about the wording of which you speak, but
Yes.
if you look at these forms carefully, some
You
of
see
these,
others on it.
you may see an option that you can use,
Yeah.
maybe an option that allows you to not disclose.
Yeah, I see where they will put up others and I
Right.
choose
You
to
can put it
utilize that.
other, and if you identify a particular way, then you
Yeah.
can fill that information is as how you would like to be identified.
My brother, Mr. Taylor, said that as a sovereign, how do I apply for my mother for traveling to travel legally to stay as long as possible? Is that is there is I know when we mention sovereign, the immigration main, is there any clause in immigration that relates to our sovereignty as far as um some of the natural rights? Because I know that why I ask a question is I hear that people can file for themselves and so forth in certain capacity.
So, excuse my ignorance,
No, no,
but
go ahead, cut it out.
um,
We're all.
I must say, I must say I have not researched enough as it relates to other tribes or native people. So when it comes to immigration laws and
Yes.
sovereign groups, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have that information, but it just came across to me in recent days, and it's of course an avenue I would like to explore.
Hey, when I first met you, I know there is work to be done. One of my main reasons, as I said when I just met you, is to break this taboo where I met many Jamaicans here and
Hmm.
other nationalities, and they're just in limbo. Now, we know that status change as far as jurisdictions is something that's taking place, and your fields and knowledge as far as that goes plays a good role. Because, even though we identify as sovereign, we
Hmm.
know that the mechanism that is there in place already will have to be addressed as far as traveling and, you know, getting documentation for us to assist our loved ones. So that was one of the reasons I brought you over. I want to ask another question for brothers and sisters who came over legally on their B1 and B2 visa, but they have lapsed that time period. What are some of the ways that they could get themselves back on track so they can make the necessary arrangement to travel or school or whatever the opportunity presents? What are some of the things that they could do, or is there something in place for those kind of applicant?
Okay, so unfortunately, an overstay is breaking immigration laws. And when it comes to overstaying, especially on any kind of visa, and we see this predominantly with our B1, B2 visa, when it comes to overstaying, it reduces the options that you have that you would normally take to move from one category of visa to another. So in that case, a B1, B2 visa holder who have overstayed, it leaves probably maybe like two options maybe. No, one of those options is finding love. So if they found love, they decided they want to start a family here in the United States, then in that way, they can now adjust their status after an overstay. Also, if they have overstayed and they are within 1 year and there is some factor that prevents them from going back to their home country, for example, they have a fear of persecution, or they have been persecuted in their home country, then they can file asylum. So that is also their right, even if they're holding any other visa type. So one thing we encourage, or B1, B2 especially, do not overstay. Do not overstay. And if it is that you think that you are going to overstay, reach out to a consultant like myself, or an attorney or an immigration attorney, to give you guidance on what other options you have, such as employment, such as business, such as family. So from your B1, B2, once you're in status within that 6 months, you have some options.
Beautiful, beautiful. Some of the areas that you cover again, can you remind us?
So I do cover asylum. That's my niche. So asylum, it's not only for those who come across the borders, like illegally. We also do affirmative asylum. So if you entered on your B1, B2, your R, your P, you name it, the alphabet list of visas. If you entered, you're still within that 1 year, and you're like, you know what? I fear for my life if I go back home. Then of course you can reach out to Midas Immigration Services, and we can help you to adjust your status. We can help you to file for asylum under any of those visa types that you came in on, as long as you're still within that 1 year period. Now, outside of asylum, we do adjustment of status. So for those who have found love and they're now embarking on building their families, we want to help them with the adjustment, my bad, the adjustment of status process. So when it comes to any form of family petitions, we also deal with family petitions, those petitions that are consular based. And by consular, I mean any petition that has to do with the embassy, any embassy overseas in any country. And we also do different types of visas. When it comes to employment based, I would not call myself the guru on that one. But of course, if you reach out to me for employment based information, I can point you to the right source.
Okay. Any question? She will be back, but she's just getting to know us, and we're going to get to know her. There's a lot of different things that we need to overcome, and she's a maroon Jamaican, just like ourselves. And I hope we can teach her as much as we're going to learn from her. I believe that the only way the corporation can be upgraded is when we share more intelligence among each other, and then we won't have to if but, because we out here thinking about the answers while she may have the answers for all the questions that we want to ask, and she can assist us. So I just want to say thank you for coming by. But as I said, any question, Abina, Kareem, Nigel, anyone?
Good evening. Does the same thing apply to persons who come here on a work visa and overstay? So they have their social security, they're working with a corporation, but they just didn't go back. They're probably still working. What do they do?
Okay, so if you come here on a work visa, it depends on the type of work visa. So we have, one of the common ones we have is the temporary work visa called the H-2B. If someone comes here on an H-2B visa, it is highly recommended that you return home at the end of this visa, because it is tied to the employer for one. It's not easy to get out of an H-2B visa and jump to another employer. So we encourage those who are on H-2B visas, file extensions or go back home at the end of that visa. However, if they have overstayed, it is pretty much the same thing. They're down to maybe two options. Finding love, or right. So if they find love and are ready to build their families with that special someone, they can always adjust their status by that means. Other than that, if they have a fear of persecution, fear of going home, you can be coming here, every year on that H-2B visa, and something happens in your home country, and now you are like, you don't have anywhere to go home, you don't have anywhere to go back to. Your house has been destroyed, whatever has been happening in your country that prevents you from going back or make you feel like you will not be safe if you return, then you can file asylum.
I have a question. For a mom who is filing for her siblings, you said a while ago it can go up to 17 years before any attention may be given to that case.
You said a mom filing for siblings.
Yes.
Okay, or anybody filing for siblings.
Yes, mother or father filing for their siblings.
Anyone. Let me just get this straight. So it's a woman filing for her brother or sister, or a man filing for brother or sister?
Not brother or sister, daughter or son.
Okay, so when it comes to a parent filing for children,
yes.
Now there are two different categories. You are either going to be a minor or you are going to be an adult. So if the child is a minor, then the child will be on the category that gets them here faster. If they're over 21, then that's probably a longer wait, maybe around 8 years, as we're seeing now.
And if you sit for 8 years and you have not got a response, is there ways and means to interact with the immigrations to be informed about the progress of your application?
So you can track your application process using your receipt numbers. However, there is something called a priority date. If your priority date is not current, then there's no need to check with USCIS or NVC or whichever immigration agency is dealing with your case. But if your priority date is current, then you can reach out to say, my priority date is current. I haven't gotten an interview. It's been so much time since my priority date. Then, of course, you can reach out to them and they can respond accordingly.
Marvelous. Well, I hope see, not everybody is don't have it, but when I'm getting you again, hopefully there will be more interaction. Could you just remind us of your service and how we can stay track? I am going to put some information in our class where people can get some information. Big up, Brother Taylor. Big up, welcome back. But I was saying, you could repeat your profession and how they can get in contact with you. Thank you.
So for those who may have just joined us, my name is Audrey Morrison. I'm a global immigration consultant, and the name of my business is Midas Immigration Services. Now, here at Midas Immigration Services, we offer service to asylum seekers, such as the application process, and in partnership with the Immigration Annex with attorney Dione Winter Funday, we also offer representation to our asylum seekers who have their defense cases. We also offer family-based petitions, adjustment of status, and naturalization and notary services. And one more thing. I'm also a minister, so if you have found love and you're looking for that minister, just call me also.
Oh, marvelous. Well, I cannot express how happy we are that you make yourself available. And as I said before, we're trying our best. Hopefully, when we, people are going to have more inquiries, I will reach out to you and I will try to see how much of availability you have, just like what you did today. I've been trying to get to you, but of course, good things come to those who wait. And it was very nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. I see Sister Abina. Do you have any questions for Sister Audrey? Sister Abina? No, she's not. All right. Seeing that nobody is go ahead.
So I just wanted to revisit one question that was asked earlier.
Yes.
I know the question was asked about a sovereign wanting to bring parents here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like to clarify that currently every application has a qualification, an application, and an interview. So your parents, as long as your parents can qualify, meaning that as a son, you hold one nationality, you hold a residence or citizenship, then of course you can go ahead and apply for them.
Okay. Brother Taylor, you heard that? Yes, he wanted to get that going. Well, once again, we over for tonight, but I'm going to thank you. I'm going to thank you. Oh, Lord. That's a phone call. Once again, thank you for coming on multitasking and enjoy the rest of your evening, Madam Audrey.
Yes. Thank you for having me. And I just want to say all the best to your community as you impact and lead growth and change in your community. I hope everybody enjoyed the presentation tonight, and we invite you to reach out to me at Midas Immigration Services on all platforms.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a great night.
Yeah.
One of the questions we get asked very often is, I've submitted my asylum application now. What's next? Once you have submitted your completed application to USCIS, you will receive a receipt notice from USCIS confirming that they have received your asylum application. This document is very important. You must keep it safe. Next step, you will be scheduled for fingerprinting and biometric checks. Don't be alarmed, it's a standard part of the process, but you must ensure you keep your appointment. Following this, you need to stay prepared for your interview with the asylum officer. This is the opportunity that you'll be given to tell your story and present any evidence that will support your case. It's always important to remember to be honest and thorough during the interview. While waiting for your interview and a decision to be made on your asylum application, remember it is important to maintain your current status. Get involved in community activities, seek resources, ensure you maintain a healthy emotional and physical well-being. The asylum journey can be a very lonely one. It can be very complex, but you are not alone. Midas Immigration Services is here to help you every step of the way. If you have any questions or if you need help with your asylum application, do not hesitate to contact Midas Immigration Services. We are here to help you navigate towards a better and brighter future for yourself and your family.
Okay. Yo, we're treading on the belly of the beast, but ye do I walk to the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
Yes,
Lord,
sir.
and anything that we ask for, we all get it, And I remember say, as sovereign, we don't have no closed door. Every door is open to us. Everything have to serve. We are the living man and woman. So that's why I am broadening the base for we have our power and then we have other access to power. Sheik is a good link. I love his presentation tonight. I want him to stay longer, but I get cross-thread. Yes, I'm a name one to get them feel as if, hey, we're, because I done book them and do them if I do to get them on board. All right, so that's it. But everything else good away from that. Hold on there, Kareem.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, hold on there. Hold on. Me tell you, say I'm sending something to you because today you asked asked me about that question there, and I did some strong research, and I find out some things that maybe can assist us. This is
You say find something that can assist us.
yeah, man. Yeah, I found something that tomorrow I'll run it across the whole classroom, but for now, I'll just use it at our closing for tonight, because this is a good thing. This is about how to apply for our DUNS number. And there's a lot of things in it which is explaining that may go wrong from their point of view, not our point of view. Because all we're doing is trying to get all the notification out. But here goes.
If you're looking to start building business credit, trying to figure out if you need a DUNS number, or want to learn how to avoid mistakes when applying for a DUNS number so that way you don't delay the process, and even if you want to know the difference between a paid DUNS number versus a free one, if you have all these questions, then you've clicked on the right video. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. But for those of you that are new to my channel, Just Money, my name is Ursahtaw, pretty much related topics such as credit, business credit, real estate, loans, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. But today we're going to be talking about how to get a DUNS number from Duns & Bradstreet. Also, why you should get a DUNS number, what the requirements are to get one, and where to get your number for free, and much more. So stay tuned to the end of this video because you don't want to miss out on any valuable information. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay, so let's begin with what is the purpose of a DUNS number and what it is. A DUNS number is a 9-digit identifier for your business, and it is created by the credit bureau Dun & Bradstreet. Business credit bureaus are different from personal credit bureaus. So in business credit, there are more than 3 credit bureaus, but the 3 major credit bureaus are Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Commercial, and Equifax Small Business. There are also more bureaus out there, but we'll talk about that in a separate video soon. Dun & Bradstreet uses a 9-digit number that they assign to you to be able to keep records of your business's credit file, and that allows other entities to also access your files, such as lenders or government agencies. It helps them better understand your company's financial history. Even though a DUNS number is 9 digits, it is not the same as an EIN. EIN numbers or federal tax IDs are issued by the IRS for tax purposes, while DUNS numbers are issued by Dun & Bradstreet for credit purposes. So the reason you need a DUNS number is so when you start building business credit with other vendors, trade lines of credit, business credit cards, and so on, you'll want to have a file with Dun & Bradstreet so that way you can build that history. The difference in business credit is that not all lenders report to all the business credit bureaus like how they do on personal credit. So by getting a DUNS number, you'll be in the Dun & Bradstreet's database. So when you apply for credit, lenders can easily find your credit file. Okay, so let's talk about the requirements that you'll need before getting a DUNS number. First, make sure you got your EIN number or federal tax ID number. Then make sure you create your company entity and then file it with your state. It can be anything such as an LLC, corporation, incorporation, C Corp, S Corp, or whatever entity that you picked. If you're using an old entity, then make sure that entity is in good standing with the state, meaning that it hasn't expired or lapsed. But if you're watching this video, then I'm just going to assume that you already have your entity set up. So I'll just skip the process because that can be an entire different video itself. But moving along, you'll also need to get your business phone number and create a professional business email. Like for example, info@yourcompanydomain.com. You don't want a generic email like Gmail or Yahoo. If you don't have a domain name, you can easily buy a domain and get a professional email from GoDaddy.com or other companies like Namecheap.com. Another thing that you will need is a physical business address, and they don't accept PO boxes. In some cases, you can use your personal home address, but that all depends on the type of business that you have. If your business doesn't really need an office space, then you can rent an address mailbox with a real physical location. And there's plenty of companies that rent business addresses for a decent price. Like the UPS store is one of them. And also, if you guys are finding this information helpful, if you guys could do me a favor, hit the like button. I would truly appreciate that. Okay, so once you have all that, you can simply go to dnb.com, hover over where it says DUNS number, then click on DUNS number lookup. You'll want to make sure that you don't already have an assigned number. It is possible, though, that you may already have a number in some cases. Then select My Company and enter your information. You'll want to enter the name exactly how it shows on your legal documents. For example, if your business name is My Cleaning Service LLC, you'll want to make sure you use the LLC part in the name. Then put in the address, city, zip code, state, and hit search. They might show you some similar name results. If you don't see your business or organization listed, then click on get a new DUNS number. Then it's going to say, what is your primary reason for requesting a DUNS number? Select what best fits your reason, but you can select the following. I have a US based business. I'm an Apple developer. I'm a US government contractor or grantee. I need a UFI, unique facility identifier, to register with the FDA. But most people will select I have a US based business. Once you pick that, we'll get to the next screen. Then you'll have 3 choices to choose from. You can select the free version and it will take about 30 days to get your DUNS number. Sometimes you can get it in a bit sooner. Like I've even seen some people get it within 12 days instead of the 30 days, but it all just depends. But typically if you want to get it sooner, then you can choose the next option. It will cost a one-time fee of $229 and you'll get your number in 8 business days or even less. The last option will cost you $399 per year, which includes credit monitoring. It's your choice to pick the one that best fits your budget. Once you make a choice on what membership you want, then you'll click Get Started. Then you will fill out your legal last name, first name, and email. Then click on the box that you agree to the terms and conditions and click on Register. You'll then create an account. The information they'll need is the following: your personal legal first and last name. They do ask for your home address and personal phone number, so keep note. They also want your business legal name. If you are a sole proprietorship, then just enter your personal name. They also want your title in the company, such as president, member, or partner. Then they're going to want your business email, phone number, and address. And that's the information you'll need to fill out. Just note that you don't have to get any of the paid options I mentioned, such as the $229 one-time fee or the $339 per year option. They don't report those payments, so it will not help you build credit. Just get the free version or get the $229 one-time fee if you want your number assigned faster. You can also do the application over the phone by calling the 1-800 number, which is a bit easier because you can ask questions if you need to from them. What I would recommend is if you decide to fill out the form online, then wait a day and call them at 1-800-234-3867 to make sure that they got your application. What happened to me was I filled out the application online, but I waited a few days and called to make sure they did it correctly. And they told me that they could not find my application, so I just went ahead and just did it over the phone. And it was quick and easy. In a few days, they'll call your business phone number that you entered in the application to verify your account, and then they'll assign you your DUNS number. So make sure that you're available to take the card. And also, here's a quick tip for you. If your business phone number is a landline, then you can forward your business phone number to your cell phone. And what that means is when someone calls your landline, then you can forward those calls to your cell phone. If they call your business and you're not there, then that would forward to your cell phone. And I'll tell you how to do it. First, go to your landline phone and dial *72. Then enter the 10-digit number that you want the calls to be directed to. Then hit the pound button and then wait for confirmation. And that's it. Brilliant, isn't it? And for those wondering to undo the call forwarding, just enter *73 and that'll undo it. And I'll go ahead and give you guys another important tip, so keep watching and pay attention. Whichever way you file your application, whether you do it online or over the phone, make sure that every number and letter is correct. But once your DUNS number is assigned to you, you'll get a confirmation email letting you know that your number has been created. Then log into your account and just verify that everything is spelled correctly. But I also do want to warn you guys that this company does make spelling errors sometimes. It's happened to me. So pay attention to what I'm about to say so that way it does not happen to you. Here's what I want you to do. Log into your account and then go to the home page. Now, on my public profile, they had one mistake. They had misspelled my personal last name. Now go back to your home page and under My Apps, click on the Credit Signal box. Once you click on Credit Signal, then you'll go ahead and see your credit profile. On my credit profile, they spelled my personal name correctly, but they misspelled my company's name and they also had a digit wrong. And my business phone number, even though they called me on the correct number. Even though they called me on the correct number, they still made a mistake on the profile. So they make a lot of mistakes. My email is also my company's name, which is also strange because they misspelled that too. So my advice is to just double check all of your info. And if they do make spelling errors on your account, then you will not be able to fix this on your own. So I'll tell you how to fix it. First, all you have to do is call customer service and just let them know the mistakes. They first will issue you a ticket claim number while you're on the call. So stay online and verify that you get the email, because as I mentioned earlier, they might spell your email wrong. So make sure you receive the email with the claim number. Now the next step is for them to assign somebody to your case. And usually they do say it could take up to 12 days for that. But in my case, they assign someone by the next business day. And once they assign somebody to your case, that person will contact you via email. For me, they only requested my LLC documents. So I emailed them a copy of my LLC document. It's called Articles of Organization. Then in about a day, they corrected the problem. And please note, just be sure to write on that email what the problem is that needs to be corrected. And I'm just letting you guys know this so that way you guys don't go through the same thing I went through, and so you guys don't waste your time. And that's it. Like I said, it'll take about 2 days to correct the problem. But try and avoid the problem in the first up to 12 days just to correct this problem. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the process on how you get a DUNS number. If you guys follow the steps, then you guys should have no problem. And I understand it could be a bit overwhelming if you don't know where to start. But I really hope that this video will make the process a whole lot easier for you guys. Always remember.
Okay, I just put that inside of the classroom. If you want to get more in depth in it, I have more things, but tomorrow I will continue.
Realize, I chief.
Yeah.
The number what him set is totally different from the number on the page where I'm having another thing. And having another classroom.
So
him said 1-800 something
yes,
another. The one when me dial was 1866, if I think I remember correctly.
I did not do that research. It was Nana who went ahead and
did that. So
that's why I said I have to retrace my lot of nighttime. I don't sleep because we have to be vigilant when it comes on to you know what I mean, crossing the T's and dotting the I's them, because all of us are learning and sometimes we learn from each other. So when you put up that this morning when you called me, I was already en route to solving that problem, you know what I mean? So it's a work in progress. I hope you can fine tune that video and get that number, and we go to the next level. Nothing not stop with my lord. We break all barriers.
Yeah, man. Sometime I work tomorrow, I go run back through it and get the number and make the call, man.
Yes, I am. Because him said that if you make the call too, it's much easier because everything they might put money on it nowadays, and everything about the worst part online, everything costs a dime. Yeah. So that, but I want to say thank you all so much. Danny, thank you for the call, Danny. I enjoyed that call today. Yeah, I think a whole heap of venom spitting at that call and information. I need to walk close with the crew because we not left nobody in a king. No. So everybody is up to par. And as far as our American brothers and sisters over a year ago that we're going to resume our American office meeting Monday. Because a good while now, we don't meet. To have the class going, we don't get to meet overall, where we collectively as can put something together for really make some things work. Because we are built on so many ends, but we have to build and build it constructively. All right, so if we don't have nothing else in them, I say we give this little monster some grub and spend a little time before in shutting your eye.
We shall have you then.
We shall have we. Thanks, Sister Bina. Brother Nigel. Yeah. We shall have be.
We shall have be.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we shall have be.
We shall have be.
Yes, we shall have be. Yes, I am.